Wagwan Kazini.
Bro, it's cold, man.
For real though, for real. Welcome to another episode of the Average Moose podcast. I realized on my last episode, the one that's actually coming out tomorrow, time of the recording, I didn't say another, so I had to cut out that portion. But today I have Mazen with me.
What's up, bro?
Welcome, man.
Thanks,
Welcome.
man.
What have you been up to these days?
Just working, man. Trying to figure out how to pretty much keep up with my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing family.
Nice.
Yeah, being a lone wolf, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always like the lone wolf mentality of people. I don't know, like you get so comfortable with yourself. I feel to a level.
Yeah, man. Like it's different because you have to have the right mentality.
Yeah.
Because if you're not comfortable being alone, you're probably gonna struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know a lot of people are like that too. Like they don't like spending time alone with themselves.
Yeah.
And they'll do anything and everything to try to kind of shy away from that.
I'd say in the last 2 years. Last 2 years is when I actually started getting comfortable, and like with myself and stuff. And the thing is, like, I meditate too. If you count like smoking shisha,
That's meditation.
That's pretty much, yeah. Inhale, exhale, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do want to touch on the fact that you have Tarbouche Entertainment. You want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, man, it's pretty odd. Yeah, I mean, I just started it just because I'm into the culture, bro. I'm into like Arabic music. I'm into the Lebanese culture, and where I'm from in Lebanon, I'm from it's like the valleys of Lebanon.
Yeah. And
music's a huge part of our culture, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like debki, drumming, musical instruments, like that's a huge part of our culture.
Yeah. So,
man, just growing up, going to Lebanon every summer, just being around my family and my cousins, man, you just get attached to it.
Yeah, seriously.
And then you come back, from like a summer vacation, and something's missing,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's
like,
like,
I know what you're saying.
It's like you want to bring that back.
Yeah.
Because, bro, like it's just something that I really like to do. Like, I feel like when I'm doing that type of stuff, like I don't focus on anything else. Like my mind is only in that moment. Yeah. Like I don't know if you see my videos.
I have.
Like when I get crazy.
Yeah.
Like
you get into it.
I get crazy into it. All my friends tell me like, bro, you look so angry, and I'm like, no, man, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just so focused because like that's where I go to just forget about everything. Like in that moment when I'm going off, man, I don't think about anything. I just focus on the music. I feel the music and I just go ham. But it looks like I'm super angry. It looks like I'm about to punch somebody out, but I'm not.
No, I feel like...
I'm actually mad happy at that moment.
Yeah,
like
I'm super
stoked.
By the way, I do see
it's like so much passion.
I know
bro.
exactly what you're saying. I've seen it, yeah.
So yeah, I like that, man. But that's relatively new. Like I just started that like maybe like a year ago. I started taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it is what it is, man. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't even think of it as work.
Yeah, but like you're enjoying it. That's pretty much what this is for me. This is pretty much a hobby. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A hobby, man. A
but
hobby.
you still take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're still making money from it, but it's like you don't do it for the money.
Yeah, exactly.
You do it because like you love doing it and it's super fun and it's just kind of like an escape.
Yeah.
And you get to you get to really make an event, like go to a event and I'm just like going off and people are like super happy with that. Like it's a really good feeling.
I feel like it's the most talked about part of an event.
Like a wedding? Yeah. Like entertainment, bro, for sure.
Yeah, the entertainment. Like, you control the crowd at that moment, really. You
set the tone.
You set the tone, You
set the tone, you set the pace.
Yeah. And it's like, you have to be an entertainer.
You do, man. And the thing is, too, I find here, is that you don't really feel that heavy culture at weddings. Like there are some weddings where there are, like, people are really in tune with the culture and dancing and music and whatever.
Yeah.
And like they don't need people to make it lit.
Right.
But like I feel like the majority of events and weddings, like there's just not that hypeness. Like people aren't they're not hype, man. They're just there to just
celebrate.
To celebrate, have a meal and
and then that's pretty much
stand up, clap a little bit and
So you pretty much at that point it's like, gather around, let's have some actual fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's just for me. Like I said, it's just fun.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just fun, just like bringing that intensity, and I love it, bro. Honestly, I love it.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. What do you do, like day job, anything?
A day job?
Yeah.
I work for the government, bro. I work for the Hapsi.
So this
Or for the feds, man.
I see. So this next portion gets a little techie, and we don't want to.
I mean, what do you got to say?
No, just like, what exactly do you do in the?
Well, I'm a policy analyst.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too into it.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I want to get private information.
I get that.
Where I work and all that stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, pretty much I'm a policy analyst. I work in an international relations branch, and we work on policies for imports and exports in terms of food coming in and out of the country. Yeah.
You guys are the reason why, when I was in trucking, you guys would be the reason why the delivery would be late, I guess. You guys have to, like, set some inspections or some shit?
Yeah. We have inspectors on site, yeah.
Yeah. And then, because, like, for me, whenever I'd have to pick up, like, a load of fruits or something from like Cali or Nevada or something, they'd always be like hours late, and they'd tell me like, oh, the food inspector, because you guys I guess are the ones that say like, oh, it has to be inspected before it can come in.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So then the inspectors show up, and then delays the load, and I'm sitting there chilling. It is what it is. But it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's regulation, right? Like when you deal with food, it's like you're dealing with people's health.
Yeah.
So it's no joke, man.
Yeah.
Like,
but like,
you have to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like that's why there are regulations and protocols in place.
100%.
Because one little thing, like a food outbreak, a disease outbreak.
Yeah. And
there's so many things, man.
There was like the whole lettuce thing at one point. You remember that with the romaine lettuce or some shit? And but it's crazy how like you're telling me this, because I actually like never exactly knew what you do. Like I know I've asked you before and you've said it, but like we never really went in depth till like right now.
Yeah, man.
And then like seeing how it affected me at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like you see it from one point of view, right? But like God knows if there was ever a load that I was going to pick up, and you know you were the one that said like, oh, that load has to be inspected before it comes in. You know what I'm saying? And like we would never know if we were ever, like, do you see where I'm coming from? Like it's just funny how the world works from like two opposite.
So don't judge, man.
Yeah. Huh?
I feel like you're judging me because I work for the government now.
I don't judge you.
You judge me, man.
I actually don't.
Come on, man. What are you doing?
No, I love Mazen, bro. I love Mazen.
I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing.
What are your thoughts on social media?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's funny, man, because I just deactivated I didn't just deactivate my personal account, but I've been deactivating my personal account for like, I don't know, it's been like at least like 3 months now.
Okay.
It's hectic.
Yeah.
I feel like the older you get, the more you realize how fake and unnecessary people and things are on social media. It's just a deception, man.
It is.
Like, the thing is, like, I don't know, man. It's tricky because social media, you have to be responsible on social media.
Right.
And if you're not responsible and you're not in the right mind state, you could either take it too seriously and it could really affect you to a point where it's like, you know, like your mental health is in question and it can get you into some trouble.
I see.
So you have to know that.
Yeah. You have to know that going in. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The people I know, they keep to themselves. And like, I'm someone who keeps to themselves as well. Like that's something that I guess like happens over the years as you get older, right? And it's like, you see some of these people that post literally their entire lives, you know, like every meal has to be, you know, on Instagram, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or I'm at work, I'm bored, I'm in traffic, I'm bored.
Listen, man, like Instagram, for example, you're only seeing the best.
Highlight reels, yeah.
It's a highlight of people's days, weeks, lives, vacations, it's not real. Whatever. Yeah. They're only showing you the best of the best.
Yeah. I don't see it as real. You know, like it's a power. Here's the thing. I think it's a powerful tool if you know how to utilize it for business, right?
Yeah.
But aside from that, you know, don't get me wrong. Everyone's got their own personal lives. Like they want to share with the world. Like they want to share, oh, this is a part of me that I want to share. You know, teach their own. It's crazy how, you know, we as humans, we came out with something that pretty much can harm our own mental health. And then if we abuse it too much, we have to go back to like simpler times pretty much. Is like, you know how people, for example, like how you deactivate your social media every once in a while. It's like to like cleanse it out of your system kind of thing.
Yeah, man. You need a break from it because it gets overwhelming. Depending on who you like, some people only follow like close friends, and then some people have a lot of random people. And even if, I mean, you go to the highlight page, you're seeing a whole bunch of random people post the best of their lives too. So no matter where you go, you're just seeing things that you wish you had, or the things that you want, or the things that you aspire to be. And it kind of puts you down.
Do you think that depends on perspective? Like, people
like
can really use that as motivation too, you know?
Yeah, everyone's different. Different. It's difficult. Like Instagram, I feel like, okay, if like for me, this is getting a little personal, but for me, Instagram was a way to like escape. And it was a way to kind of showcase yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And then you kind of break it down and you start thinking like, oh, like, why do I do that? Like, why do I post this, or why do I say this? And it's just like you're seeking external validation.
That's insane you say that.
And I think that's kind of what Instagram has become. I know when I was younger, that's what it was too. Like now it's different because the older you grow, the more you understand.
And like the less you care.
The less you care, because
it's not that big of a deal.
You come to your senses.
Right? It's like people actually don't care about how I'm living, and I don't care that deeply as to how people are living. You know, as long as everyone's good and healthy, all the other shit is bullshit. In my opinion, you know, like oh, you just bought a house, like congratulations. No one really cares, but congratulations. You know, like oh, you just bought a new car or whatever, like. Nice, you know, that's what you wanted, but it's not like that deep, like where it's like I feel like people put it as like, oh, this person's gonna get jealous, this person, you know, like it's not that deep.
It's not. No.
It's really not. And you mentioned validation, and that's crazy because I had a question here. Like, do you think we as humans we constantly seek validations from others?
100%.
Yeah.
100%, man. That's human nature. To seek validation. But that just goes to show you how unhappy we are within ourselves, if you really think about it.
I feel like the group of people that we know, at least, like we don't consciously go out to seek validation from each other. I feel like we subconsciously do it, you know, like without actually thinking.
But does it matter? Like either way, like you're still doing it. You're still doing it knowingly or unknowingly. To seek some sort of validation or response.
Someone or something. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
To get a response out of somebody. To feel like someone's paying attention to you.
Yeah. Damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
That is really deep.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like you have to understand it.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of know why. Because like, dude, like there's sometimes like you genuinely like find something really, really interesting and you post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like, dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like you want to share something, like you want to spread awareness, or you take like you're somewhere like really, really cool and you want to share that, you know, that place with somebody and your followers. Like that's like that's normal.
That's normal. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like it's all about the intention, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't know if you do this or you used to do it when you'd have your social media active, but like I would post things and I just like I don't care, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd share it with, you know, I was like, this is something I want to share with the world kind of thing. That's like how I see it. And then like I just put my phone away. That's it. It's like if someone wants to message me about something or whatever, like that's when I'll open up social media again, but it's not like I'm constantly on it after that, you know. It's like, oh, I just wanted to share this one. Like I'll share funny things. I love like the memes and stuff. I love it. It's hilarious. I love a good laugh. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get that one gem in like a million after like a million scrolls, and you're like, yo, this is hilarious. You know, let me show people. Maybe someone else will get a laugh out of it. That's how I don't know. That's how I've thought about social media at least. This one's gonna be heavy. This one's gonna be deep. Would you want to have the ideal life that you envision for yourself, or would you want all the knowledge this life has to offer? So if you were given two options, the ideal life that you want or all the knowledge this life has to offer?
It's an interesting question. Yeah. The problem with the knowledge question, I think, is that if you had all the knowledge, then what would you learn from life?
Nothing.
You wouldn't learn anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, what's the point of living?
Yeah.
Like we live to learn, to make mistakes,
right?
To learn about ourselves, who we are, people around us, etc., etc. So if you had all that knowledge, then what would be the purpose of living?
Here's the thing. You're questioning what the purpose of living is. If you had all the knowledge, you would know what the purpose of living is at that point. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's this pretty messed up cycle. Me personally, I would choose the ideal life. I definitely feel like knowing too much is a bad thing.
Yeah. I think ideal life is probably the better option.
Yeah, in that scenario, because it's just knowing too much. I feel like is a horrible thing.
But what do you mean by having all the knowledge in the world? Knowledge about what?
Life.
Like everything?
Everything.
Just knowing everything?
Just knowing everything.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I'd go with the
simplified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not someone who wants to know everything, to be honest. Like I do like learning new things. Yes. But I would never want to know too much. More than I need to know. I feel like that's perfect. You need to know what you need to know. That's it. I feel like you don't really, to know more than you need to know is too much, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of deep questions on the list or what?
Just a few, just a handful of ones. You're the first person that's not related to me that's coming on.
Really?
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
So it's a family thing?
The first two are my cousins, and you're the third. Do you feel like routine is healthy or it results in a mundane lifestyle?
No, man. Routine is everything.
Really?
I think so. Routine is discipline, man. Like, routine is everything. If you don't have a routine, then what are you doing? Just like waking up whenever you want, doing whatever you want at whatever time, at whatever point. How is that healthy?
But I'm talking like a routine lifestyle.
Like what?
Like every day is the same. Every day is the same. You wake up at 9 a.m. or fuck it, whatever. Like you wake up at 7.
But here's the thing too, man. No matter what you do, you have to have a routine.
Yes.
You have to.
But I don't think that your entire life should be a routine. I do think having discipline is important.
But here's the thing. So it's subjective.
Yeah.
Why is it subjective? Because a routine is catered to what you want to do and what you're happy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Like for me, routine is waking up super early, getting a workout in, reading, writing, starting work, doing work, after work, see my family, do something for myself, for my mental sanity.
Right.
Take the time I need for myself, watch certain things, educate myself on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not necessarily the same thing every day, but it's just you're doing what you need to do for your mental sanity.
I see.
But it's different for everyone. Like my routine would be different than your routine. Because your routine is catered to what you like to do.
Yeah,
and my routine is catered to what I like to do and what I think is going to better myself and my mental health.
I see.
Because routine develops discipline too.
Right.
And you need discipline.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
And it's about time management too. And that's super important.
Time management is super important. I feel like that's one lesson in school that they don't really like you have to figure it out afterwards, you know? Like now we're talking about this, I look back and it's like, okay, it makes sense why we had to wake up so early. We had to go to work, go to school, power through that the entire day, go home, eat, shower, whatever, homework, and then something for your mental health, as you say, your me time in a sense.
Yeah.
And then go to sleep early, wake up, repeat. Back then, I feel like we didn't appreciate it as much, that whole routine lifestyle, but it does build up discipline in you afterwards.
Yeah, it does. But I feel like routine is more important in adulthood than it is in childhood.
Yes.
Right? Because as a child, you don't have to think or worry about the things that you do as an adult, right? Yeah. So you're able, like, that's the point of being a child, right? It's just living your life freely and innocently, like that. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have that as a child, then it's kind of sad,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but in adulthood, it's really important, man. It's really important because I just feel like if you don't have a routine, then you don't know what you're doing. You feel lost, right? Yeah. Like you wake up and you're like,
what am I going to do today?
What am I going to do today?
Yeah.
There's no purpose.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Without routine, it's hard to see a purpose in things. Mm-hmm. Because like if every day you're waking up at 6 a.m., you have to wake up at 6 a.m. to do ABC 1, 2, 3 by this time, by this time, by this time, by this time, by this time. Yeah. You're so productive.
Yeah.
And if routine, I think routine promotes productivity. Because if you don't have a routine, it's just like there's nothing
for you to
work towards.
Yeah. I see.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see.
And to be honest, I struggled with that for a long time. And that was like when you don't feel productive.
Yeah.
You feel like shit, man.
Yes.
You just feel like a rat.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. You know what you mean? I know what you mean. I've been struggling with that. To be honest, I've been struggling. Like, here's the thing. I have a routine. I just don't follow it strictly. You know, I follow it to an extent. Like, the whole waking up early thing. Like today, for example, I bypassed that. I was like, it's Saturday. I'm sleeping in. You know, and my sleeping in is like till 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Yeah, and that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that, So I feel like that, like I've become healthier over the last couple of years. I feel like my habits before the last couple of years have been really bad. You know, there was no really sense of direction. There was no routine. I just wake up, feel like doing something. And unfortunately, that's what I would do.
But, and you just do it.
Yeah, but it's like I never had it planned out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was an issue. Well, I was going to ask you, would you rather a simple life or a complicated, busy life? And I feel like I kind of know the answer based on what we were talking, but just in case.
A simple life?
A simple life
or
a complicated, busy life?
Of course a simple life, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Life's not about staying busy all the time.
Right.
Life's not about getting your mind off the things that you need to focus on or actually worry about.
Yeah.
You know, like the more complicated things are, the more stressful things are going to be for you.
Yeah.
And staying busy, I don't feel like, although being busy is a good thing, it's if you're too busy, it takes away from yourself.
Yeah.
The focus on yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
I feel like, are you saying like in terms of like part of your soul gets...
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, you do find a similar trait in a lot of successful people is that they do stay busy. They do have complicated, busy lives. Mm-hmm. So like, what is success to you? I feel like that's the question I should be asking.
That's deep, man.
That's deep. All, yeah.
That's a deep question.
It is. Yo,
Musa, I didn't know you were so philosophical, bro. You're getting me with these questions. What is success?
What does success mean to you?
Listen, man, like it's different for everyone, obviously, but for me, I think like success is just being content with what you have. Right. Like to me, if you can be content with what you have and what you do, then that's all you need in life to get by. Yeah. Right? And you kind of have to understand your purpose in life in order to be successful and be happy. You know what I mean?
Damn, that was deep.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Again, it's different.
That was amazing. I'm fascinated.
Listen, man, I don't know. Like,
that was a really good
things
answer.
Are just coming to my head right now. It's just like, for me, you have like I understand that you can't find true happiness in this world. Okay. Right? Because everything is temporary. Yes. And you have to understand that. Like once you understand that everything is temporary, your health is temporary, your money is temporary, your relationships are temporary, your family are temporary. Like everything is temporary. So when you attach yourselves to things that are temporary, when they're gone, there's no happiness. Right? So then you have to ask yourself the question, what matters and what would make me happy? Yeah. Is, well, in this case, it's being present in the moment. Yeah. Like enjoying time with the people that you do have. Yes. And enjoying your wealth when you do have it. Yeah. Enjoying the relationships when you do have it. It's just being present and enjoying the moments, creating memories. This is going to be super lover boy, but...
It's all good. I love it.
But love, bro.
Yeah, it is. Like, it is love, yeah. Secret to life. Yeah, secret to life. Man. Everything you've said, pretty much a secret to life.
Success and happiness, I feel, is just love.
Yes, I agree. That's insane.
It's the ability to love and receive love. Like, it's you being able to give love and allowing somebody to love you. Yes. Like, that, to me, is like, if you can do that in a healthy way... Yes. Then nothing really matters, man. Yeah. Yeah, cars, money, house, none of it matters. No. Basic necessities, sure. Yeah. But the love, it's the love, man. And it's crazy you said all that because, bro, that's literally what I constantly feel, by the way. Like this moment,
this is something like forever in my head, by the way.
Yeah.
And
because it's human nature, right? Like humans long for relationships and connectivity with other human beings.
Yes.
So no matter what they have, no matter what they're doing in life, it'll never amount to the feeling of having a true love, being in love and receiving love.
Yes.
So no matter what you do in life, if you can't give love and if you can't receive love, then to me it's just like it's an empty purpose.
Damn, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
The whole not being able to receive love, do you think that's people's fault?
In a sense,
like how would someone work on that?
How would somebody work on what?
Being able to receive love.
Go to therapy, dude.
Why do you say that?
Because it's just like, to me, it's just a matter of psychology.
Right.
The way you are today, how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you treat people is a mirror of how you see yourself. And a mirror of how you see yourself is how you were treated and how you grew up as a child.
Right.
So clearly, if you're not able to let somebody love you, or if you're not able to love in a healthy way, you kind of have to trace back into your childhood and see the roots, like why that is the way it is, and why do you think the way that you do, and why do you act the way you do, and why do you say the things that you do, and why do you push people away, and why do you make things so hard when they don't have to be?
Yeah.
You have to kind of dig deep, and you have to trace back to the roots. And the root is always upbringing. Yeah. Is how you were as a child. You know, how your parents brought you up. It's not your fault. Yeah. But it's your responsibility to understand yourself. Yes. And it's your responsibility to help yourself. Yeah. And realize those things and change. Otherwise, you'll never be able to develop, like,
true meaningful relationships
with people.
Damn, you said I was philosophical earlier. That's the most philosophical stuff I've heard in a long time, bro. This is cheers, bud. This is one way to start off the New Year's. Honestly, that was philosophical, bro. Damn.
Listen, man, I'll be honest with you too. Yeah. These are things I'm learning as we go. Yeah? Like, these are things that I've been learning recently. Okay. When you go through so many, like, failed relationships, you kind of have to start digging deep and understand why they didn't work out. Right. And it's easy to point the finger at the person you were with and saying, well, they didn't do this and they didn't do that, and that's why. And I feel like most people nowadays are so accustomed to the victim mentality where it's like they don't want to be at fault and they don't want to be blamed for things not working out or for things not being the way they want them to be. So what they do is they usually victimize themselves and say, well, it's not my fault.
But that's crazy to me because all my failed relationships, I know it's all me. I know. 100%.
Well, you know that though. That's
crazy. But that's
a good first step.
But see, for me, I could never point the finger and say this relationship didn't work out because of the other person. But here's the thing: it took years to get there. It took years to get to that point.
If a relationship fails, it's usually because both parties aren't able to meet in the middle.
But I look inward. The minute that happens, I look inward and I'm like, okay, I understand their point of view. Them pretty much, saying, okay, this is why the relationship failed for me. For like I'm saying in their point of view, them saying that gives me insight. Okay, that's their point of view. Now I have to understand my point of view. Why didn't it not work out for me? And then that's where.
Do you find that every time you dissect those relationships, is there like a common denominator? Like, is there something common after every relationship that you feel is like repeating itself?
One major factor that's been repeating itself is they would usually end up having feelings for someone they've had history with, which I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? For sure, you're gonna have stronger feelings for someone you have history with than someone who just came into your life brand new. It's like the whole employee thing, for example. People who have seniority are gonna stay. The new people, you're gonna get fired. So I feel like that's how I look at it. It's like I'm totally content with it. That's their point of view. But then I look towards myself and I'm like, okay, well, if that's why it didn't work out for them, why didn't it work out for me? You know, and I'm like, what can I do to make myself better, I guess, in terms of, I don't know, I feel like every failed relationship I get better. Really, like I just look at it like mentally. I mean mentally. I'm like I look at it, I'm like, okay, well I have to fucking fix my mental state. It has to be something with my mental state and how I'm looking at things. So
Yes.
it's like I can't look at this as a negative. I just look at it like, okay, you have some work to do, you know.
Everybody has work to do, man. And it's not just you, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Like one thing that I've realized is that you can't be in a healthy relationship if you first don't love yourself, right?
Yeah,
like that big. Like that should be like your if you continue to go through these same patterns in relationships, then it's like, okay, then there's something wrong here. Like there's obviously the relationship with myself is not at 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So every relationship I go into, it's not going to be 100% because you can only give and love to the capacity in which you love yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And the same thing with receiving love. You only let somebody love you to the amount that you love yourself.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying, yeah.
So if that relationship with yourself isn't at 100%, then odds are
you're not going to get loved 100%.
You're not going to feel loved 100%.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be willing to compromise and understand the other person's point of view.
Damn, the amount of wisdom you're hitting me with. Actually insane, by the way.
Bro.
I feel like our first heart to heart almost, you know? Like, we never really talked about, like, this deep into things.
Yeah. I didn't know you were so philosophical, man. You're posing philosophical questions.
You're the one who's philosophical.
I mean, I'm answering them, but you're asking me these questions.
These are amazing answers, though. You have to understand, I'm fascinated.
These ideas and, like my perception is not from me. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, these are just things that I've learned and over the years and especially recently. And bro, like reading, man, like reading helps a lot. Like if you really want to understand yourself and understand like your mental state, like you have to be able to read and understand like the psychology behind the way you are and the way you act. I do a lot of reading, man. Like I like to read.
Love it. Do you believe in love at first sight?
No.
Why not?
Because that's lust, man. Because love is something that develops over time. Mm-hmm. Love is not an instant connection.
Right? Yeah.
Because seeing somebody at face value doesn't really do anything justice. To be able to truly love somebody, truly love someone, it's beyond surface level.
I see.
So when you look at somebody and you fall in love instantly, like that's a fantasy, bro.
It is.
Like that's like you're romanticizing the idea of love. Like that's not what love is.
What about love at first interaction? No. So you really have to like dig deep, dive before you can truly love someone. Is what you're saying?
Man. You can't love, like, dude. If you're loving, like if you have one conversation with someone and you fall in love with them, like, dude, there's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big problem.
I used to have that problem, by the way.
You fall quick.
Yeah, I fall quick. Fast.
Damn, you were a lover boy, man.
Yeah, it was bad, bro.
I
romanticized a lot of my friendships, and it was bad. But, you know, got over it, and now we're chilling. Now we're more stable. I feel like after the last time I looked myself in the mirror, I was just like, okay, yo, you need to fucking get your shit together. This is starting to get fucked up and old, you know, because I used to happen to me a lot in high school. Oh, in high school I was the worst. But because the thing is, I went to 3 different high schools. In grade 9, I was in Westmount. In grade 10, I was in Burbach. Grade 11 and 12, I went to Mississauga. I was at Joan of Arc.
Yeah, you told me, yeah.
So each time you're seeing, like almost each year, you're seeing new faces.
Yeah. And
that goes back to the whole lust thing and the first interaction. And I'm just like, yo, like this individual is actually super cool. You know, and then it's like, I start thinking, I don't know, it's a weird thought process that went into it, really. It's not the right way, so that's why I don't want to get too deep into it.
You can't judge someone off one conversation.
Yeah, you really can't.
You can't, man.
Yeah,
because like there's so much more to people than just having that one conversation. Like And it depends what you're talking about too. Like, I mean, the first time you talk to someone, odds are you're not diving deep into things that actually matter or things that are important in a relationship.
It could get deep though. It has gotten deep before. For me, I don't know. It's
yeah, but how can you trust that?
That's the thing. That's the
like,
thing
how do
I'm
you
learning.
know
that it's actually who they are, because I realize people put on a front, not most of the time, to get the other person to like them. But I feel like after, because there's that whole thing, when people, they get married, all that bullshit. That's when like the saying goes where it's like the true self came out. It's like the things that you did when you guys first started seeing each other, they don't do them anymore, and that kind of stuff, right? So for me, I realize now I just want to skip straight there.
To what?
To know the real person. I don't like, if you're gonna show me shit that you're doing now and tell me shit that you're how you're thinking now, and that's not how you actually think, that's a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not rocket science either. Like, I mean, you should be able to tell if this person is the right person for you based on how you feel, their mentality, conversations, how they act. Like, there's things that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of the times people kind of overlook those, like, whatever, like red flags or whatever, because they don't actually, like, they take people and they take them for what they can be or what they could be. Like, they see them as like potential. They see them for what their potential is.
Could be, yeah.
And they don't actually take them at face value for what they are. Like, if someone's showing you like who they are, but then you tell yourself, well, no, like, like,
it can get better.
It can get better because, like, they do this and they do that, and and then you're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
I see.
Yeah. Like, you have to be willing to accept someone for who they are at that very moment in time. Like, when you meet somebody,
right?
If that is not who you want, if they're not that person at that moment, then you need to not pursue that. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. But that's what it goes back to what I'm saying. Not a lot of people show you their true selves in that moment.
It takes time to get to know somebody.
It does, yeah.
Man, you can go like years and not really know someone. Yeah. It's scary.
It is.
It's scary, man. But you have to, like, it's a risk, and you have to be willing to take that risk.
Yeah. I see.
Because it either could be something amazing and beautiful and something that would make your life worth living.
Yeah.
Or it would end up being completely shit and you would end that relationship and you would move on. But it's still worth the risk, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, one thing that I always struggled with, and this is why my relationships, there's something that I had a problem with, is being vulnerable in relationships.
Too early or just
in general?
Really? You wouldn't be vulnerable?
I wouldn't be vulnerable.
Oh, I thought you would.
I struggled with vulnerability, yeah. Like, not being, I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want to be weak.
I have the opposite issue.
I didn't want to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. I never pegged you as that type, though.
Yeah, man.
I never pegged you as that type. I'm the opposite, eh?
Yeah.
I show too much vulnerability too fast. That's a bad thing.
Listen,
too.
You know what? No, it's not. It's not, dude.
It is horrible.
No, don't say that. I don't think it is. I think it's worse to be not vulnerable than overly vulnerable. Because if you're not vulnerable, then you can't actually develop connection. It's hard to develop connection without vulnerability.
I see. Yeah, but too much vulnerability and too quick, that'll just scare off people.
Well, then there was never meant to be, man.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like, I feel like you should not show that much vulnerability at the beginning.
Yes, you're right.
That's where I'm coming from. That's what I mean. At the beginning, I would show vulnerability right away.
You have to be careful who you show your vulnerability to.
That's another thing, yeah.
But you shouldn't be afraid, or you shouldn't hold yourself back from being vulnerable in relationships, because without vulnerability in relationships, you have no capacity to love. You have no capacity to be empathetic. You have no capacity to be compassionate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, being vulnerable is like literally letting go of all your fears and showing your emotions, processing your emotions, and not being scared to look weak
Yes.
Like a lot of the times for men, especially in relationships, they don't want to talk about how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to talk about how you make them feel because they don't want to look weak.
Right.
Right? Like there's a stigma on men in relationships that we have to be ABC 1, 2, 3. And in the Middle Eastern aspect or perspective, like coming up from that upbringing with our, fathers being very, very tough on us.
Yeah.
Coming from like war-torn countries, generational trauma, like that's inflicted upon us, and we kind of carry those ideals with us as well. So, like, that's why we don't want to show vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because we don't. It's not that maybe we don't. It's not that we don't want to show vulnerability. We don't know how to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
We don't know how to show emotion. We don't know how to feel emotion.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, because we weren't taught
to
really. If you think about it, right?
We weren't.
You couldn't talk. You can't talk about how you feel. You can't talk about anything that comes to mind. And if you do, most likely your dad's gonna smack the shit out of you, tell you to shut up.
Yeah.
You can't talk back. There's no room to have an opinion. There's no room to share emotion. You're not receiving any emotion from your caregivers. Like those things affect how you grow up feeling vulnerable or not being able to show vulnerability.
Yeah. And do you feel like, coming from Middle Eastern household, do you feel like a lot of the Middle Eastern men that we know, we gravitate towards our mother more than our father because of that aspect? Because you feel more comfortable being vulnerable, essentially, to...
Which is normal.
Moms, yeah.
Which is normal.
Yeah.
But still, just because you have one healthy relationship with one of your parents doesn't mean that you have a healthy relationship with yourself.
Yeah, I see.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Because odds are if you don't have healthy relationship with both your caregivers, like your mother and your father, you're going to have some trauma that you have to work through.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah. I've noticed a correlation with that. I definitely have noticed a correlation.
Girls and guys.
Yeah, both. 100%.
But especially men. Especially men, because women are able to show vulnerability more freely than men.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Even with
modern
day women?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, dude. Most of the modern women you see now, some of them do have a issue with vulnerability. You see it once in a blue moon, but it's there. You do see some occasional
Maybe, but I think
situations.
it's easier for women to be vulnerable than men.
Yes, that I agree with.
Because women, I feel, are just more in tune and connection with their emotions.
Yes.
Like as men, we don't know how to process them. Like, dude, like when something bad happens, or like when you're pissed off, or when something bothers you, bro, you take that shit to the grave, man.
Yeah.
You take that shit to the grave, like, and it sits deep inside you for a very long time. So then when you think back and you look at it, like all those traumatic experiences, all those pushed away feelings you had ever since you were a kid, like they live inside you, bro. They're trapped inside you.
Yeah.
And so they get accumulated. So what does that do, man? You push. You get accustomed to pushing away your emotions. You don't know how to process them. Emotion comes, you take that emotion, you push it to the side.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Pretty much.
Like that's like how you deal with shit. Like that's like your self-defense mechanism. You don't want to deal with the emotion.
Yeah.
So you push it to the side.
Yeah.
And you think that's what makes you strong.
It's not.
But it's not. And then it gets to a point where it's like it accumulates and it adds up, and then
eventually it'll eventually blow up. Yeah.
And eventually you're gonna find yourself in a position where you don't want to be in because you were irresponsible.
Yeah.
By not taking the time to understand how you feel.
Which you do owe to yourself.
You do owe to yourself.
100%.
Yeah. And if you don't understand how you feel, and if you don't understand what you're going through and what your emotions are, then you're not going to be able to be in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this from experience because, like, dude, I'm guilty of that.
I see.
Most people are.
Yeah.
Most men are.
Yeah, but I feel like once you get to a point where you can like own it, it's like it's the other side. Yeah. Really. It's the I feel like I'm seeing you now, and I feel like you're very much in tune with your emotions.
Yeah, man.
In your current state of mind, which is amazing to see, by the way.
Yeah. You have to be, man. It's about being aware. Like once you're aware of the issues and the problems,
yeah,
like that's like the first step. And like once you're just aware of those things, you can start really unpacking them.
yeah.
But the first step is like understanding that you have a problem and you need to fix it. Like emotionally.
Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes like it's hard to do because like I said, you don't want to be a victim. Like
yeah,
you know, like
you don't want to victimize yourself. Yeah.
Nobody wants to feel like they have fucking problems, man. But dude, we all have fucking problems. Especially Middle Eastern men.
Yes.
Especially.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
And yeah, like it goes back to your point, like it's not our fault. Like generational trauma is not your fault.
Yeah.
But it's your responsibility
to change that
for the future.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, then your kid will go through the same thing, and then it will continue. Somebody has to break a cycle.
Yeah.
And only the real survive, bro. Like if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That was
it's deep, man. Like you have to like it's tough, man. I'm just gonna say it's really tough.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. And it's okay, listen, it's okay to get help too.
Yeah.
Let me just say that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mental health, man. Mental health is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And one thing that people overlook is men's mental health, man.
Mm-hmm. Was it this month or last month? There was something about Men's Mental Health Month or some shit like that.
I think it was a couple months ago. Yeah.
I remember something about that.
Yeah.
That was good to see that there's more awareness with that.
Men's mental health needs to be focused on.
Yeah.
Man.
Can I ask you a personal question? You don't have to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever been in love before?
Yeah.
Looking back at it, would you actually call it love? Or would you... Like, now that you're more in tune with your emotions, would you say...
It's an interesting question. It was love.
At the time?
It was love to what I understood love to be at that time.
That's a good answer.
You know?
Yeah.
Because with experience and with time, like, you learn certain things about love, and, like, your perception of love changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Over time, yeah.
Over time. At that point, yeah.
Do you believe right person, wrong time? Is there ever such a thing?
I don't know, man. I don't.
Can't
right person, wrong time?
Right person, wrong time. Do you believe in such a thing that I'm not saying in that scenario we're talking about for you, I'm talking in general. Do you believe that you could meet someone who is the right person, but it's not the right time for...
Yes. I think I believe in that, man.
Yeah?
Listen, I believe in fate.
Yes.
Okay? And... like, there are things that are not in your control.
Yeah.
And there's things that you shouldn't rule out of question. Like, if you really, really like somebody and you guys really, really mesh together, but it's just not working out for whatever reason, it's okay to let that person go.
Yeah.
And do the work that you need to do. Yeah. To become a better person.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, man, like, when you get in a relationship, it's hard to work on yourself in a relationship. Like the environment in that relationship kind of holds you back. It doesn't allow you to flourish.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes people have to end their relationships, focus on themselves, and heal themselves in a positive environment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's normal. Like, I think like it does happen. To say it doesn't happen, I don't think that's true. I think it does happen.
It does happen, yeah.
It's unlikely, but two people have to really, really want it. Yeah. For it to be able to work out.
For sure.
You know, like if you're really committed to changing yourself and wanting that person to end up with that person, then it'll happen, man.
Yeah.
It'll happen. I really feel like it'll happen, but you have to really want it.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been through that much experience to agree, to be honest. I do. Like, for me, I believe the right person... If it hasn't happened, then I feel like the right person will eventually show up. To say that...
But you don't know, bro.
You don't know. That's the thing.
That's the thing, bro.
The thing is, you don't know. And I don't have, like, as much philosophical experience in this as you do. Like, you have a lot of wisdom in this department.
It has nothing... Listen to me, bro. It has nothing to do with wisdom, okay? It has to do with destiny and fate and your understanding of that, okay? you have to, this is like, and this is kind of religious, but I hold like these religious values where it's like, you have to be able to trust Allah's plan.
Right, yeah.
Because whoever was destined for you, bro, it's written on your forehead.
Yeah.
Like,
it's there.
Ever since you were born.
Yeah.
So you have to have trust that whatever is meant to be and who you're going to end up being with, it's going to be. And it's going to be the best option for you. And you have to really trust that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And to say that this person's not meant for me, we don't know.
Yeah, you really don't, yeah.
Like maybe not now.
Maybe not, yeah. So the guy, I guess, I see what you're saying. Let's go back to what
yeah. Like maybe, God puts everyone in your life for a reason.
Yes.
Okay. You meet somebody, they show you how to love. They teach you how to love. They teach you things about yourself. But whatever, it doesn't work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You guys move on. Talk to other people. Learn more about yourselves. Learn more about whatever.
Yeah.
And things are just not working out. Mm-hmm. And then you find that some people, they end up finding their way back together. Yeah. If they want to be. If they're meant to be, it'll be, dude. Like, it'll happen. Yeah. Here's the thing, too, man. Like, but you feel it. Like, you can feel it. You can feel a genuine connection with somebody, and you can kind of know
that it's genuine.
That is genuine. And if it's a genuine connection and you really trust that feeling in your heart, then have faith with it, man. Like, just do what you need to do. Like, don't be set on the idea that you're getting back together. Yeah. Like, don't get set on that idea. Don't get set on the idea that, like, oh, if, like, whatever, like, they really love me then, or if I really love them, like, we'll be together and I'm going to do everything I can to get them back. No. Yeah. It's like, you do everything for yourself. Yes. They do everything for themselves.
Yeah. And if it's meant to be, it's...
And if over the time you find that you can't forget them and your heart is still attached to them and things aren't working out with other people, there is a possibility
that was
the thing. Yeah. The thing that you always wanted. And now, after all this experience and after all this time, understanding yourself and just knowing what's out there, you become such a better person. And now you're ready to be
together.
Together.
I see what you're saying. That's insane. Yeah. I was talking about it in a generic sense. This situation, like, that situation doesn't apply to me. I genuinely don't think I've felt
like for example, like, if you just meet somebody, right?
Yeah.
And you go on a couple dates with them. Yeah. And they're like, and it just doesn't work out. That's something I would say, there's no such thing as right person, wrong time, because, dude,
that's essentially what
it's a really superficial relationship, right?
I've never had, I don't think I've ever had, not to my knowledge at least, that I've had any meaningful relationships yet. Yeah. It's pretty fucked up, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I just feel like you just have to trust what's meant for you is gonna make it to you. And you have to do the inner work. Yeah. Like, you really have to work on yourself so that when that time comes, like, when it's time to get into a relationship, you know that you're able to put in your 100% effort and it's genuine, and, like, that's how it's going to work. Right.
I see.
If you keep jumping relationship to relationship or just trying to meet people, or et cetera, like, that's just going to stunt you from actually being happy. Yeah, in a relationship. Yeah. Because you're not working on yourself, dude. Yeah. You don't even know yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then you attach your worth to other people.
Which is
toxic, bro.
Yeah, that's toxic. Yeah, I know.
That shit's toxic.
It is.
I've done it, bro.
I've done it before, bad, too. Man. It's horrible.
It feels...
Can't do it.
Yeah, it feels bad.
And you want to know what the answer to that was for me?
What?
Being alone. Which circles back to literally the first topic we were talking about, being a lone wolf. Like, that is the fix. You have to be by yourself, love yourself, and not attach your worth to, to others. Like, that's...
Yeah. You have to be happy with yourself.
You have to have some sort of self-worth, self-confidence, and all that.
You have to be able to fill all the voids yourself. Yeah. Like, you can't get into a relationship with the notion that a person is going to fill a certain void that you can't fill. And you find that does happen a lot. Yeah. Whether it's on the girl's part or the guy's part. Like, for example, like, a girl will get married to somebody who's very, very, very wealthy because that fills a certain void, for example. Yes. Or attention.
Yeah.
Or, like, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but when you have all the voids filled yourself, then you're not getting into a relationship because you need something from them. You're not getting into a relationship because you need them. It's because you want them.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Because then it's not. Then a relationship isn't transactional.
Yeah.
Like when there are voids within yourself, then it's
a transactional relationship.
It can be very transactional.
Yeah, because that person's filling in the void for you. Oh.
So you only love them to the extent in which they fill your cup.
Yeah. And then the minute
they don't fill your cup, you're like, yo, this person doesn't love me. Yo, I feel like worthless.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not happy in this relationship. Well, why? Well, it's because they're not filling your cup. But it's not their responsibility to fill your cup. You have to fill your own cup, right?
Yeah. Be content.
Be content with who you are.
Yeah.
And that way you can be happy in a relationship. Because then it's not transactional. Then your love isn't. Because in a sense, at that point, your love is, in a sense, conditional.
Yeah.
And you don't want conditional love.
You don't want conditional love.
You want unconditional love. And unconditional love means that you don't expect anything from that person.
Yeah.
You can't expect anything from that person. But I'll tell you something. What relationship nowadays, you don't expect anything from somebody.
That's true. Yeah. A lot of people expect shit really in return.
And that's why people end up getting hurt. Because when they have an expectation of somebody and it doesn't get met.
That's met with disappointment. Yeah. And I that's the thing. I learned never to have any expectations. Just I do me, and I don't I don't expect anything in return. If it's there, if it happens,
this is something I've learned super recently, bro. Like,
okay.
I feel like I've been hella toxic.
Really?
Like in my past, yeah. Like, yeah.
Since I known you, or before that, you'd say?
Before that.
Yeah? So I met you through, so I guess I met you when you were working on yourself then?
When I started to work on myself.
Yeah. Okay. Because I do see a huge difference.
Yeah, man.
From now and back then. So you've come to the realization that you were toxic. I feel like
we're all toxic.
We're
all toxic, man, in our own ways.
Yeah. And what made you get there?
Getting hurt and hurting others.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Listen, it's one thing to get hurt.
Yeah.
It's another thing to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And I would argue that hurting somebody hurts more than getting hurt.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. That's fucked.
Yeah.
See, I'll give you a generic example right now. Me and someone I know. Okay, I'm not gonna mention, but there's someone I know. Every time we see each other, it's literally it's toxic. Essentially, I came to the realization it's not a healthy relationship for both me and the other person.
Yeah.
Every single time we see each other. So I came to the realization late, very late, and then I'm like, okay, I have to separate myself from this person.
Is this a friend or a girlfriend? Or
I'm not gonna say anything because then people will get ideas, and I'm not trying to get into it. I'm really not trying to get into it. But
so
I'll keep it generic.
You just asked me personal questions, and I have to answer.
It's a friend. It's a friend. But I'm just trying to keep it generic as possible.
Yeah.
So I realized I need to separate myself from this person. But not just for myself, not just to better myself, but so that they can better themselves as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I at least from what I've seen in both of our lives, that life has gotten better. Because now it's the toxic portion has been cut out.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it goes back to the point I said earlier, where sometimes the environment in which you're in, it stunts you from growing.
It does, yeah. And
so sometimes you have to remove yourself
from the situation.
From those situations. And sometimes, for example, people have to remove themselves from the situation. And you shouldn't take offense to that either. Right?
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Sometimes you have to remove yourself from those situations. And sometimes people have to remove themselves from you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You shouldn't take it personal.
That second point, I learned that very late in life. Super recently too. Is that I have, like you said, you have to accept someone removing themselves from you because for whatever their own reasons is. You don't know, right? Really, realistically, you're not owed an explanation. I don't think so. I don't know. Do you disagree with that? I don't think.
I mean,
I don't think
it's like to the extent,
to
an extent of like what your relationship is with
this person,
with that person. Like if someone just cuts you out like cold blue, and I mean you're really close to that person, and it does hurt you, and it does.
I feel in that scenario,
like at least like you should at least communicate that with that person, so that they understand.
I see. For me, I didn't mean it like cut out of your life. Essentially, I meant like they cut out of that situation. They're like, you know what, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation, and I'm like, and I've learned recently, it's like, okay, I have to accept that from that person. It's like they have their reasons for removing themselves from the situation. Do you see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not my life. I care about this person, but
you want what's best for them, and you have to trust what they know is best for them.
Exactly. That's one thing I've learned. Recently.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally normal.
Damn. Yeah. Honestly, thank you. I feel like I feel like I have a totally different outlook after this conversation on like life and relationships in general. Like,
so that's why it's important to talk and develop connections with other people, because sometimes people would have gone through something that you didn't go through.
Yeah.
And so that you can learn from their mistakes or their perception.
Yeah.
You know? They can open your eyes to certain things because they went through it.
And that's what I've loved about, you know, reconnecting with people, is because like you go through so much and it's like, okay, well, catch me up. What's your perspective? Yeah. You know, like what's your current perspective of life right now? And I grew up socially awkward, dude. I didn't have that many friends growing up, really.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I wouldn't say I have a lot of friends now. I have, you know, everyone who's my friend, you know, I love them and they love me. It's all love, you know? So it's like, I don't know, you know, it's like, I like hearing different people's perspective. Like your perspective, dude, I truly appreciate you coming here today.
No problem.
Actually means a lot. And like your wisdom, I'm not even...
Stop.
I'm not... Okay. Yeah. No.
Listen, man, it's not wisdom. It's just things that I've learned.
Yeah.
That, bro, like maybe that shit will help you.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
Maybe like having this conversation, maybe you needed to hear this shit.
I did. Actually, I did.
And that's all it is, man. Like I made a lot of mistakes in my life and my relationships, and there's things that I've learned that I'm working on, and you know, me having this conversation with you is just like, it's just a real conversation, and maybe you can take something from it, and
definitely did.
You can change it for yourself, bro, so you don't make the same mistakes or something like that. I don't know.
No, I see where you're coming from.
But that's why I do, like, it's super rare to have like genuine conversations like this. Like most of the times when you hang out with your friends, like what the hell are you talking about? Like that's the issue, man. Like that's what I feel like. I feel like so, like I love all my friends.
Same. I know exactly what you're about to say.
I love all my friends. But sometimes it's like there's more to what someone's going through than you think.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just nice having somebody be there for you and like talk about random shit.
Yeah.
But like you got to know what to talk about too, and you have to know like the right questions to ask. Like you shouldn't always just be talking about money and job and this and that and this girl and that guy.
Yeah, there's more to life than
bro. Like I'm at a point where it's like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I don't care about how much money
you make or
I
what you're doing or your projects. Like I do.
Like dude, you're my boy. Like I support you.
I support it.
Like, I want to hear about your accomplishments, and it's all love,
can we
bro.
talk about something deeper?
But sometimes you need to talk about the deeper things.
Yes. I definitely agree with that.
I feel like that's lacking, bro.
It is. I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy about this, by the way. I was at my buddy's house the other day, and bro, weirdest moments, because we actually had like a super deep conversation. It was just me and him. I feel like he turned on the TV, and we were about to watch TV, but then we got super into the conversation for like hours, right? Like we were talking like just deep life. Meaningful conversation. I haven't had some of this in a while, dude. And that's the thing. Like, and he was telling me, he was like, I feel like a lot of the people that you see, like, you don't really click with them. And I'm like, I don't click with them because I feel alone. You know, like I feel alone around certain people, and it's like a black and gray. You know, like it's black and gray. It's just.
So why do you hang out with those people?
It's just no. It's just that I've put in certain situations where those people show up, kind of thing. But what I'm saying is that sometimes when I have like a meaningful conversation like this, the world has color again, kind of thing. You know, it's like it's not. I don't feel as alone because it's like, okay, I'm actually having a deep, meaningful conversation with said person. And it's like, we're not just sitting around, they're on their phones. I'm usually never on my phone, by the way. Whenever like you ever see me in a group with people, like I'm never on my phone. I'm trying to
be present
present in the moment, talk, you know. If someone's trying to contact me, different scenario, you know, like I will fucking answer because it's like, okay, this person's trying to communicate with me at this moment in time. I'll communicate that I'm not really in a position to talk, kind of thing, right? I'm trying to be in the moment, and then everyone's on their phones. That's one of those moments where I'm just like sitting around. I'm like, why the fuck are we here? You know? But then it's like when people actually converse with something meaningful and deep, it's like, yes, thank you. This is essentially what I want. Yeah. I don't know. It's just
like your friendships shouldn't always just be about passing time and just filling that like gap that, like just because you're lonely, you want to have somebody there.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how many times someone like one of your friends came up to you and be like, "Yo, Musa, like how are you, bro? Like seriously, how are you doing? Like are you okay?
Rare.
Like are you good, bro? Like are you going through some shit? Like you want to talk about it?"
Not rare.
Doesn't happen, bro.
Rare. Doesn't
fucking happen.
Yeah.
And
and you're talking like maybe once in a year does that maybe, and that's a huge maybe.
Yeah.
Will that happen? Yeah. Not never. I'm gonna start doing that, by the way. I'm definitely gonna start.
You never
doing
know,
that.
right?
Amazing. Yeah.
Again, it just like these are things that you learn when it comes to just like being just open and vulnerable with yourself.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're going through, and you know like how you're struggling.
Yeah.
So it's very possible and plausible that somebody else is going through the same thing.
Yes.
And feeling the same way.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you have wanted that friend to ask you?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
How are you, bro? Like,
how have you been doing? Yeah.
You don't look so good. Like, are you good? Like, you want to talk about anything? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no one. Yeah,
doesn't happen, bro.
Doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. Everyone keeps to themselves.
Everyone keeps to themselves, man. And it's like this. People they don't like guys especially, man.
Guys, yeah.
They don't talk about their feelings. They don't talk about like what they're going through because again, they think that it's a sign.
Yeah.
Of weakness.
Weakness. Yeah. I definitely agree with that because. And like, here's the thing, as boys, we're closer. Like, that's my boy, you know. Like, I make it a rule. I'll never get in a fight with my boy over some girl. You know, that's my boy. You know, like.
Yeah.
I'm just. But the issue is like you don't see many guys talking to each other like this, like where it's like, yeah, let's have a fucking deep conversation about something other than the usual topics, money, girls. That's really actually the usual topics. Money, girls, outings, all that bullshit.
Yeah, man. Some people are just stuck in a certain mentality.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't want to change, bro. That's the thing.
They don't want to change.
They don't see something. They don't want to be the source of the problem. They don't want to look within, and they don't want to change. Too much work, right? Like, why would bro, it's a lot of work.
It is.
And it's painful.
Yes.
Dude, it's very painful. It's very painful, mentally, like having to look at yourself and like understand that like, dude, like your whole life was a fucking lie kind of type of shit.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, and like it's very painful. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Right? And people don't want to go through that pain and they don't want to do the work to become better.
So they put up a front.
And they only go after certain people that they know won't change them or check them.
Challenge them. Yeah.
Check them,
check
whatever.
Them. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And so they'll never change. Which is sad.
It is sad.
And they'll just keep going through a cycle over and over and over again. And
you know, a few people come to mind when you say that, and it is sad, but
I don't know, man.
You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves, really. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like as boys, as men, like we just got to be more open with each other, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
As sus as that sounds. Like,
no. It's not. Dude, we're all grown-ups, you know, like.
Yeah, bro. As you get older, you understand, like, what really matters in life, bro. Like, mental health is a huge thing.
Yeah, and people don't take it seriously.
Yeah, especially for men.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that support.
And I feel like...
We don't have that support, bro. Like, somebody going through mental health issues, like, a girl can easily openly, I feel like
communicate,
can be more vulnerable and open to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they won't come out and blatantly say, "Oh, I'm like depressed, or I'm going through something, or I'm going to therapy," and
it comes off
as I'm hurting, and whatever. Like, but guys, it doesn't
at all,
and we don't have that support. And when we are struggling, we can't go anywhere, bro.
Yeah, because no one really gives a shit.
Who are we gonna talk to?
Yeah.
Our boys, bro. If you told your boy that you were depressed, he'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." Like,
yeah.
He's like, "What do you mean you're depressed? Like, do this, do that. Like, that's stupid."
Yeah. They don't
understand.
Yeah.
Just forget about it, bro.
Yeah. That's pretty much what
move on.
You can't. You
move
can,
on, bro. Forget about it.
Yeah, you can't talk to your boys
bro,
about that kind of shit. Yeah,
they're fucking ruthless sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And the issue is that like, but that goes back to what you were saying. It's like you push the emotions aside, and I feel like at that moment when I have tried to be vulnerable, essentially with my boys, they're just like, "Yo, like, suck it the fuck up," you know, like just move on. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
And then it's like that's when you push the emotions to the side. Mm-hmm. You keep it barreled up somewhere, and then you just move on because you're like, "That's the advice I'm getting right now. Must be right. This is my boy." So it's like, yeah, I'll just move it to the side and move on. Yeah. Very sad, but
it is, man. But then you just become selective on who you talk. Like, you need to find good friends.
Yeah, I see.
Like, people you can talk to. And again, don't be vulnerable with people who don't make you feel comfortable, because then you're just gonna end up in a darker place.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because it takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable, and when you do become vulnerable, and someone doesn't like respect those boundaries or actually want to listen, then you're gonna feel like you're going crazy.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. That's happened to me before.
It does, man. It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. Yeah.
Like, being misunderstood
is a constant in my life.
Yeah, like it's heavy, bro.
Yeah.
It hits heavy.
But
here's
the thing. For me, I've kind of accepted it in like the wrong way, where I'm like, I'm not wrong. Everyone else is wrong. That's how
victim mentality.
What? That's not victim mentality.
Like, what do you mean?
Like,
everyone else is wrong?
Everyone else is wrong.
For what?
Like, when I'm feeling misunderstood.
No.
I'm just like, I'm not. Like, what I'm thinking and saying is not wrong in my point of view. It's just everyone else's.
So why is someone wrong then, right? Like, if you truly understand yourself, and you know how you feel inside, then you wouldn't need that validation otherwise. So no matter how somebody would treat that or treat you in that certain scenario, it wouldn't hit you personally.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You wouldn't think like, yo, that person's wrong, or like, yo, this person.
No. I just mean like, okay, I'm misunderstood. Like, here's the thing. Sometimes my friends, like, we realize things about each other where it's like, okay, we've hung around each other long enough to know, like, okay, this is what this person kind of wants, you know? Like, for example, the other day, smoking shisha with a buddy, and it's like, it's too harsh. It's like, okay, I know to take off the coal. He didn't even say anything. And he's like, why? You know, we've hung around.
It's that connection.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, but sometimes when I have a thought process and I communicate it, sometimes people don't understand because it's just sometimes my thought process, I understand.
But you have to be willing to accept that. Like, you have to be willing to accept that not everyone is going to understand you. And you can't expect everybody to understand you, because if you expect that everyone understands you and they end up don't, you're just going to feel crushed. So
see, in that point, I don't feel crushed. What I tell myself is, okay, then you're in a good place. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're in a fucking good place. I'm like, they just don't understand me. It is what it is. Yeah. And that's why I mean, like, where I look at it is like, I'm not wrong. I see. Everyone else is wrong with how they took my information, kind of thing. You know, it's like they misunderstood me. I didn't come out saying. Well,
it also could be the way you communicated it, maybe.
I do have a communication issue. Because you can't what goes on in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't expect someone to interpret something the way you want it to be interpreted. Yeah. In the way based off how it comes out of your mouth. Yeah. Like, to you, something would make total sense if I say, like, blah blah blah. You should know that this means this.
Yes. Okay.
But that's simply not the case. Because how you perceive things and how you think of things is different than how someone else would take it.
Yes.
So you have to. Sometimes it takes a lot more communication to actually get your point across to certain people. Like, you have to be super direct. Yeah. And if you're not super direct about it, like, don't be freaking upset about it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like the upset part is like no one really gets upset.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, you misunderstood me. And sometimes when I misunderstand people, I communicate to them. It's like, listen, here's why I misunderstood you. It's not, you know, like, I don't want you to think, like, and I feel like people don't do that with me sometimes. It's like, they don't explain to me, like, listen, we misunderstood you, but this is why. People just say, yo, I don't understand a single fucking word you're saying. That's all I'm given, you know? Me, when I misunderstand you, I'll tell you, I misunderstood you. Here's why.
Dude, you're ahead of the game, man. You're one step ahead, Musa.
I feel like half a step. I wouldn't say full
You're good,
step.
man.
I'm chilling.
You're in the right place.
I'm chilling, man. I feel like you're in a really good place, dude.
I'm not,
I'd
bro.
love to see it, huh?
I'm headed in the right direction, but I still got a lot of work to do.
We all have a lot of work to
Of course,
do.
man. That's growth.
Grade 11 religion teacher, by the way. This is what I wanted to tell you earlier. Grade 11 religion teacher, she told us, she was like, listen, we as human beings will continue to work on ourselves and, you know, until we die, essentially. Like, you will continuously, because that is the point of life. And, dude, like...
It's true.
She was an amazing educator. Like, and I don't say that lightly. Like, she was probably by far, she was a religion teacher, but she was the best goddamn teacher I ever had. No one could touch her in terms of what she meant to the students. And she was just teaching religion, you know, such a simple subject, essentially, really, like, because, you know, when you come from a culture when you come from a community of like us, the Middle Eastern community, a lot of us grew up on religion, you know, whether you're Christian or Muslim, a lot of the Middle East, you know, we grew up with religion in our household. So we go into these religion classes, it's like, yo, miss, like, we already know some of the stuff, you know, aside from Buddhism and all those other religions, like, you know, like, when it comes to like Christianity and Islam, like, I know, you know, essentially like the basic concept of that religion when it comes to the theoretical. But she will get like pure philosophical and talk about life. Yeah. She's like, okay, here's me talking to you about religion because this is my job, is to educate you about religion, but let me also educate you on life. Yeah. And that's what set her apart. Yeah. That's what set her apart.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's a good point.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is...
What's the time?
Hour 23.
Holy.
Yeah.
Stop. That's a long time, man.
I swear to you. But it was amazing.
Man, you got to cut this shit.
I'm telling you, I'm not.
No, there's no way.
This is amazing.
Dude,
bro,
you got to cut it.
There's something, listen, there's some things I will cut. It's just like the pauses and stuff, really. But it's great material. This entire, thank you very much. Thank you. This is amazing.
No problem, bro.
Eye-opening. That was Mazen, everybody. We will definitely mention your entertainment account.
Sure, dude. Why not?
That's okay.
For sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna put it in the bio of the YouTube video and as well as the bio of the the caption of the Instagram reel as well. I do want to put it Instagram reel. Yeah, we'll definitely mention your
dude.
account.
Why not?
Just to mention, I feel like I don't mention this enough at the end of my videos, but share, like, subscribe.
For sure.
All that good stuff. Thank you, Mazen, for having...
Well, no problem, bro. My pleasure.
You know, we're glad to have you here.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, we'll catch you next time.